When the gays go marching in.
Service has been kind of queer lately anyway.
This oppression's got to go. This oppression's got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, this oppression's got to go.
Yeah, go ahead and go like that.
Excuse me, where are you going?
Where?
Yeah.
To eat lunch. Somewhere.
Do you work for its Bell Telephone?
No. I work for a home life insurance company.
What do you think of the demonstration?
I don't think it's too good.
Why?
Well, I think that, well, I can't explain.
So let them work.
What?
If they're gay, they should work.
They want to work. Did you read the handout? Did you?
Yeah, they want to work. Right.
What it's about?
Uh-huh.
What?
These here people want to be hired as what they are, and
They want an equal
equal
employment
opportunities,
bill.
right? And they feel that they're equal in all ways as other people, and they should be hired.
So don't you think they should get that?
I don't really know what to say, really.
Why should
Yes
they get
and
the
no.
bill?
Yes and no. I think they should because they're human beings. They have to live and eat and support family if they have one, or their own needs, and then no because I'm against it. You know, I feel people were born. A man was born to be a man, a woman was born to be a woman, and they should be as such. They should not change.
What do you think about women's liberation?
I don't like it very much. I think a woman is put on this earth to please a man, and she should.
You think that too?
No, I think that a woman got the right to equal with a guy. I mean,
What about gay people?
no, they gotta support themselves.
They want to. It's for an
But I
equal
mean, if you
employment
dress up
bill.
like this here lady, it's a little ridiculous, because what are you gonna hire her?
That's
A receptionist? You cannot hire a person like that as a receptionist or anything, because all you gotta do is walk in and see something like that sitting at a desk. You ain't gonna forget about it. What are you kidding? But otherwise, you know, if they're gay, they're gay. What could you do? But you know, they gotta support themselves. Anyway. All right.
Well, I was just thinking that they ought to go undercover. That will solve their problem.
How do you mean it would solve their problem?
Well, they're known to the organization. Why make it known?
Why not?
Well, that will
Are you
solve
straight or gay?
Pardon me?
Are you straight or gay?
Of course, I'm straight.
Of course. There's lots of people who dress like you, and they're called closet queens. And you know, then they're straight. They look
Right.
straight. You think gay people should have to live like that?
No, I don't.
Then why should they go underground?
Well, they have a problem. They want to work. It's a problem to find jobs today.
They
Right.
want an equal employment bill passed
Right.
by the city
Well-
council.
I have no argument.
Do you think the bill should be passed?
I'm not familiar with the particulars of the bill before I can make that
Did you
statement.
get see a handout?
I just read it very briefly. All I know that there's a bill in effect, and I'd have to know the merits of the bill before I can make any decision.
Yeah. Well, it's essentially a bill that does not believe in discriminatory hiring on the basis of sexual practices. What do you think of that generally?
Well, I'd have to know exactly what they mean by the practices.
You mean some practices would be okay and others wouldn't be?
I wouldn't approve of any practices while people are at work.
No, not at work.
Okay. Well, I really don't know what they mean by that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Don't you believe in equal opportunity?
I believe in equal opportunities.
For women, gay people?
Say you'd be afraid to go to the bathroom.
What?
I believe in equal rights for everyone.
Couple of pains, that makes somebody great man. Ah?
When God made the Garden of Eden, he didn't put two Adams. He put an Adam and an Eve in it.
Is that a man? Square? Is that a man? Is that just like a man?
That's Martel's biggest hang-up, is square business.
That's what they're here to do business.
Oh, no. They're not here to do business. They're a public utility. They're here to serve me.
That's right.
And they don't serve me by putting gays on welfare. They don't serve me by putting gays out on unemployment lines when they find out that one of their employees who's doing a good job is gay and they fire him or her. What makes you think they won't fire an operator if they find out she's a lesbian? They will. Even if she's doing a perfectly adequate job. I don't know. Maybe they're afraid. If they have a job, maybe they're afraid to reveal themselves.
If I was what they are, I'd be afraid too.
Many of
I
them
wouldn't show
are.
my face in
These
the
people
street.
are not afraid. Yes, many of them are afraid.
Why are they afraid?
Because people like you made them afraid. They were afraid they'd lose their jobs. They were afraid they'd get beaten up.
Because they're wrong in what they're doing?
What they're doing is no concern of yours unless they do it to you.
Or if they try to do it to me.
Or if they even try to do it to you. But if they don't, is it any concern of yours?
I don't think it's right, you know. That's my opinion.
That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But it's no concern of yours as to their employment by firms such as American Telephone and
I'd
Telegraph.
never hire one.
Nobody's asking you to.
I'd never hire one.
Unless there's a bill that forces you to because you're discriminating solely because they're gay.
Hey, there's a bill
Right
passed.
now there isn't.
There's a bill passed in the construction workers union that had to hire all minority groups.
Right.
All. No discrimination whatsoever.
Is that a good bill?
Sure it is. If the guy can do his job, I wouldn't hire one of these.
And why if a gay can, all right, now why if a gay can do the same job? Suppose you got a gay carpenter who's terrific, who can work in any kind of wood, who's excellent on the job. Why can't he be a member of the carpenters union?
Chances are he wouldn't work there too long, I don't think.
It's great money.
Sure it is.
I'm sure he'd like to work there. I'm sure many of them do, and you don't know they're gay.
Well, why can't these people do that?
Some of them can. They're
Why-
out here picketing for the ones who can't.
Huh.
There's gay.
Why are you defending them?
Why shouldn't I?
Why
That's the
shouldn't-
way I feel about it. You're attacking them, I'm defending
I'm
them.
not attacking. No,
Yes, you are. You said you think it's wrong. I think it's right. Let's put it this way. I don't think it's right or wrong. I don't think it's any of my business. All I'm interested in being is a citizen having a right to employment, so he stays off welfare, and so the same creeps who are kicking him out of places like this then say the lazy bastard won't work.
say that.
Well, don't they? You yourself said, do these people have jobs? Yeah, plenty of them have jobs. You know, there's a couple of people on this line with PhDs who have excellent jobs, over $20,000 a year. But some of their friends who don't have PhDs, who want to work here at an excellent starting salary, can't get a job here because they're gay and because the company doctor picks it up on something that happened maybe in their childhood or on some test he runs.
Demonstrating against a colored person, I don't go and dress myself up and paint myself in black, you see. There should be no reason for the people to walk around and dress up the way they're dressed. It's not only is it abnormal, but it's also
Those are bell-bottoms, aren't they?
it's in style.
You know who set that style?
The Navy.
Homosexuals.
The Navy set the style for bell-bottoms.
Bell-bottoms have been in the
Navy
Navy
been
for
wearing
50, 60 years, maybe 70 years. That wasn't the
and
style
homosexual
until
style
that,
in the
that's right.
Navy,
That was
right?
no, that wasn't the style until homosexual designers brought it to 7th Avenue 10 years ago. And you're wearing what a homosexual dictated you to wear.
So then the next style should be, guys,
I don't have to wear it. If I don't want to wear it, I ain't got to wear it.
you have lawyers and judges are gay. You understand? And they tell you what to do. You dig it? If you do something that you think that you want to do yourself, you do it. It's not their business. If I'm gay, it's my business. They have remember Caesar the Great, Alexander the Great, they were gay. You know, Cleopatra was gay.
I don't know about that.
No, but you better start, just like he said before, start picking up and start reading. You don't have to read, keep looking around, you
You
learn.
got gay football players. National Football League guys revealing themselves. You read Jim Boutin's book? Does that make him a lousy football player? Why shouldn't he box?
He does.
Well, then what's the problem? Then why can't they work for AT&T?
Figs.
So what?
Don't like figs.
So what? Who cares what you like? Why can't they work for them?
If I was the head of the personnel department, I'd throw them out.
Unless
I don't
it was a law
want
against
my
it.
man being asked on the hallway to come into a janitor's closet with him for 5 minutes.
Are your operators asked on the hallway to come fuck on lunch hour?
Only if,
The guy who does it gets fired, doesn't he?
True.
So, any gay who did that should get fired too, right?
Right.
Until he does it, he should be hired, shouldn't he?
Well,
if he's doing a good job, if he's doing
who's going to
his
ask
job.
him if he is or not?
Who's going to ask him if he's doing a good job or not?
Who's going to ask him?
I wanted to explain to Nathalie Rockhill,
Yes.
Nathalie, my objection to your, at first, you know. Yes. My objection was I thought it was between we, males, who were discussing this, and throwing in a girl seemed to me rather dramatic.
Woman, sir. Woman.
You're not even, what are you?
A woman.
What did I call you?
Girl.
Is that offensive?
Well, over 16, we
You know,
tend
you're going
to
to
be
make
women.
it so difficult for all of us to communicate.
I'm
You think I was
I'm
being
sorry.
offensive when I said girl?
No.
Oh, of
No.
course not. The reason was there are anti-homosexual groups that wish to come on. There are groups being formed who are against you, and I'm not against you. I'm against if you proselytize, and if I think you're if you're going to go before the city council and change certain laws, I want you to first tell me exactly what they mean and what they are. It's just as democratic for us to throw our weight on the other side. That is not undemocratic, is it?
It's all part of the process.
Depends
I
on what
suppose.
laws are.
Yes.
But here's are you aware that there's an anti-homosexual league in Mount Vernon being formed?
No, I wasn't.
Well, the point is I may be forced legally to put them on, and in which case then I have no control. I have to do the same thing for them. They must tell me who they will bring on, where if we had left it the other way. I have no objection to you being here. I just wanted to explain because some of the audience here seems to have some women in it. Now, tell me, I am naive. No, I meant women from your groups. You know, don't laugh in the wrong places, because I don't... Well, I mean, I don't want you to laugh just because you think I'm being mean to you. Is the word lesbian, may it be used?
Sure.
It's not a
Yes.
pejorative.
Listen, in
That's
fact, let me
an
talk to
accurate
Mr.
word.
Kantrowitz. Mr. Kantrowitz, without quarreling with your objection to the use of the word fairy, I concede, you know. It's not a part of my professional language. I've used it, but on the air, I don't think ever before. I don't know what a word. You just say gay or something, I suppose.
We say gay or homosexual. The thing is that the word fairy teaches a lot of people who are sitting out watching television now across the country that there's something wrong with them, that they can be laughed at. They're one of the only groups left in this country that it still seems to be safe to laugh at. And what we're here to say is that it's no longer safe or nice.
The word
or
fairy is the
acceptable to
most
laugh at us.
objectionable?
There are many objectionable terms. The
Well,
word
surely
faggot
not
is-
fag and queen. Are they objectionable?
Yes, they are. Of course they are.
They're used by your homosexuals all the time.
Some people have chosen...
Is the word queen objectionable?
I think to some
Isn't it
people
part of your
it may not be.
vocabulary?
Some
Is it
people
part
may
of your
consider themselves queens.
Is it not part of your vocabulary?
Queen has been used to describe perhaps a certain kind
It's
of
in an
homosexual.
editorial in your own magazine.
The point is that there are many kinds of
Village
homosexuals.
queens. It says village queens. Now, this is in your own. Merrill Miller, Allen Ginsberg are all homosexuals. They use the word fag in their literature. I have it here. Fag sounds rather harsh to me. I mean, I don't like the word fag. Fairy, gay. That's an adjective, actually, and you made it a noun.
Well, you talk about, for example, ballet being the fairies of baseball. Do you know that many of the people that you call fairies play professional baseball,
Indeed.
for example? And
But it is true that ballet has a great following of homosexuals. You know that.
Most sports, quite likely.
Yes.
But then there are sports that also do.
Well, I know, but that's true, except that I don't think that you would find a disproportionate amount of males there would be homosexual at a ballet, I would think.
There are, of course, certain areas where there are professions where being a homosexual has been a great deal more accepted than others, but there again, you know, the one scientific body of data that there is, namely the Kinsey study, points out that homosexuality is distributed about evenly amongst all religious groups, all racial groups, all professions and the like. There's many homosexual men on Wall Street or on the New York Jets as there are anywhere else.
And the world, Dr. Voller, would be lesser for if we had never had the genius of the homosexuals that we have.
Anybody. We're all people. I
understand it, but you must understand that we straight people get a little uptight at some of the expressions you use and some of your proselytizing and some of your language.
Well, we have trouble with the idea of proselytizing, because people say, when we simply come out and say openly that we're gay, people say we're proselytizing. Yet you often talk of your wife and your children and so on, and as far as I'm concerned, you're flaunting your heterosexuality.
Not a wedding ring.
Isn't it a wedding ring?
Oh, but I would be. Actually, I don't wear it anymore.
You talk about your wife a lot on your programs.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed.
We're simply asserting our identity.
Isn't our moral history the family unit? That's what I think. And I think we have a right to be a little uptight when you people go too far. An example of it is, all right, what is going too far? Someone told me you objected to me saying that the founder, does that mean there are many founders or one founder? The founder of the Gay Liberation Alliance is a writer for the New York Times. I strongly suspect the New York Times in the last month of strong homosexual propaganda.
You do?
I do.
I think one of the things that all of us are struck by is that there's been an extraordinary lack of coverage of that tenth of the population which is homosexual. I think that the press has been extraordinarily remiss and talked little other than stereotype.
Not the New York Times.
And it's true over the last year. The Times.
They give 10% of the paper every day. I mean, they don't give that to the sports section.
But we're being told that when we are mentioned, somehow that's propaganda. When other things are mentioned, it's just truth or fact or reality or history. We are as much a part of history. We have always existed everywhere.
Yes.
And there's no reason why people should avoid truth. We are as much truth as any other kind of living.
I'm a real human being.
But we have a right to be offended.
Why?
I don't think so.
Well, when I read something written by a man, let's say Genet, an Esquire, that his favorite, he's a pederast, but his favorite form of intercourse is with a goat. I have a right to be offended.
I think perhaps the goat might have a right to do it.
There's a difference between
maybe he found
offended.
A consenting goat. That was probably what he did.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between your right to be offended and your right to impose all kinds of sanctions against people because of your taste.
Let's take
because it wasn't but a few years ago that all kinds of people in television and radio audiences and in movies wouldn't allow blacks to do certain sorts of things. It's only been the last 3 or so years, 4 years maybe, that one sees blacks on advertisements, and that's a long, long overdue process. And the same for gays. I feel offended when I constantly see heterosexuals running out in the sand dunes and meeting each other in great waves of hair and for a deodorant ad and the like. I want a couple of women or a gay couple of men out there occasionally too, just as blacks properly.
The agency's not ready for that, kid. They wouldn't sell any stuff.
They will be, though.
Well, there's a lot of homosexuals in commercials, only they're just not going fluty-fluty, you know.
There are a lot of homosexuals buying the products, too.
Yeah.
But I was a heterosexual for many years, and I know what it's like.
You just didn't like it?
No, that's correct. And that's right.
Now, wait a minute.
No, but I see a man like Paul Goodman, an educator, who's written several books and is well known, using language that would put any father uptight. And he's one of the respected members of that community, the homosexual community. They asked him a question as a teacher. This is in the Playboy thing on homosexuality. And they asked him what he would do if a boy came to him. He says, getting back to the boy who came to me for advice, if he's cute, I'd try to make out with him.
You mean he's like a heterosexual, like a Supreme Court justice who's married to a very young woman, is that correct? You have to, every time you raise a question like this or ask it, ask yourself, are you as a heterosexual or as a entertainer or the like responsible for every statement that is made by the 200 million heterosexuals in this country or for the vast array of homosexual entertainers?
I accept that, yes. But we will pause for just a moment.
I'm Henry Block of H&R.
And you wake up a couple of times, do a little necking, and you think you're in love. I've never seen anything like it.
All I wanted to do was ask. You don't have to get sore about it, do you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack, but look at it this way. You just haven't been around enough to know what love really is. Believe me, it's nothing like the slush they give you in the movies.
Well, I don't know, Bob.
That's right. You don't know. Maybe you would understand better if... Say, I've got an idea. How'd you like to double date with Jean and me tomorrow night?
Why, sure, Bob. That would be swell. Sure you wouldn't mind?
Not if you let me get some sleep now. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, Jack, that sounds like loads of fun. See you tonight. Goodbye. Guess what, Mother? Jack and I are going on a double date with Jack's brother Bob and his girlfriend. They're engaged and so much in love. Jeannie has the most beautiful diamond.
Oh, that's fine, dear. I've met Bob. I think he's awfully nice.
I do, too.
And speaking of love, weren't you and I going to talk about that today?
Yes, we were.
I've been thinking about your question, and, well, suppose we look at these snapshots together,
Snapshots?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do they have to do with love?
Oh, I was just thinking that they might help you to understand how your capacity for love grows and develops just as you grow and develop. Here, look at this one.
Oh, Mother, did you have to keep that?
You know, in a way, you were in love even then. Every baby loves its parents for their care and protection. Of course, some...
...thing for all of us to come out of the closets and to openly state who we are so that we can be real people. Many people who are sitting in this audience here, many people who are watching this show at home, may be gay people, and the people sitting next to them may not know that. There may be family or friends sitting next to them who may not know that, and who are therefore loving a false image of those people. What we're doing now, working to change the law so that we can be protected in jobs and in housing and have our civil rights along with every other minority group, is important so that we will be viewed as the people that we are, so that we don't have to spend our lives watching our pronouns saying, I went out with a person over the weekend. I went out with a man over the weekend, and I had a wonderful time with that man over the weekend. And I'm proud that I did that. I'm glad because I enjoyed myself. And I think other gay people, when they begin to say that, will show the rest of our community, the rest of our nation, that we exist as a substantially large group of people.
The only thing is, if you're not really telling people who live, like in the Middle West or some places that aren't as ahead as of New York to come out, they'll lose their jobs. I mean, you can't ask people to make that kind of a sacrifice unless they're really missionary or zealots, because you could really blow their lives wide apart.
We're working now to make conditions safe enough for them to come out. Those people who are lucky enough now to be able to are doing so.
It still happens in New York. People come out and do lose their jobs. And we're simply trying to let people know, enough of us know, that being gay really is good, and that being yourself is so important that it's worth standing up.
Well,
and
being gay is good, being yourself is good. I mean, we can't just...
Being gay is just
being heterosexual isn't bad either.
Lovely too. Right.
It's not a put down as being heterosexual. We're saying that being gay is an extraordinary experience.
We don't want to turn the world into our thing. We just don't want to be forced to do somebody else's thing. And the feeling, the point is, the feeling is so great.
Some of the things that turn people off
so important.
is when you get people that are really, I mean, that camp around and really, I mean, you guys seem really sincere, but some people really present a very poor image, and you want to stop them.
A different image is not necessarily a poor image.
Yes.
There's
No, wait, you're laughing in the wrong place.
Behavior. All
you're laughing
exists,
again.
and all of it, I think, has a right to exist.
But what you are doing, in fact, you wish to be accepted. Now, the thing is, you've got to keep, in every movement, there are wild-eyed radicals. I mean, you know, and I think that it does you damage. This is only piece of friendly advice. I
don't want to be accepted. I want to be left alone. I want to have my world intact and without criticism and offense from others. I don't want to be thrown out of my job because of my private life. And I feel that those people who do, in some fashion, wish to display their public life, let them. I don't object when when a woman wears outlandish clothes, why should I object when a man does so? It's a variety of human experience. It's great. It's what makes America a remarkable place, to have people of diverse sorts and kinds and shapes and appearances.
Do you feel it's been a short discussion, but I didn't want to devote a whole show.
And you wake up